And we're going to actually two companies that are actively working in this space in Bali and Indonesia more broadly. And it's going to be a really interactive session. So the reason that all of your chairs are so close to the speakers and the screen is we're really looking for you guys to participate and be part of the dialogue. I think one of the amazing things about being here in Canggu and being part of the Bali community is we have such a diversity of experiences and backgrounds and people from a range of disciplines and industries and companies. And that's the magic of Bali. And we really want you guys to be part of that and bring your voices to this session. So don't lean back. This is a real lean-in session and something that we really encourage you guys to be on this journey with us. Okay. I promise there's not going to be too many doom and gloom slides, and you guys have seen a lot of these, but Europe's summer wasn't always something to celebrate anymore. And, you know, we're starting to see way too many of these weather charts, not only for the folks in Southern Europe, but way north as well. So, you know, this is becoming more commonplace. The idea it's no longer just about global warming. The media are calling it global boiling, which is really not what I think any of us want to hear. And then just one more chart, which is, again, you know, off the chart, CO2 concentration in the atmosphere, way more than the planet has ever seen before. So in light of that, one idea that we want to posit to everybody is this, that every job is a climate job. And you might be like, well, I don't work in climate, I don't do sustainability, how can my job be a climate job? And I think that's really the point. Right now, either your job, your side hustle, your project, whatever you're working on, it's either positive or it's negative. There's not much that's neutral, and you probably don't want to be in the red zone. So really, one of the platforms today is for us to all think about how do we think about being in this green zone? What can we do in our own roles, in our own communities and in our jobs, in our industries, to bring our contribution into the positive and to have some outsized impact? And that's really the objective with our organisation. We're all just normal people. We've only been running this for 3 months. This is a new initiative, but already we're seeing a lot of momentum for other like-minded people that want to also step up and have a voice and make a contribution. And I think that's what it's going to take from all of us. So why are we meeting today? We know the problem is huge. No more scary charts from me. But we all know that we can have a significant impact, and it's really going to take our creativity as a collective to really address some of the challenges we have. And we know that we're not just going to move everyone into a sustainability role. I think everyone's job is going to change, and it's already changing. And these discussions are happening right across the board in companies, in organisations, in government, in communities. And really encouraging you guys to be at the forefront of some of this and lean into it. So who are we? We're a community of like-minded people with a strong bias towards solution-based action. There's a lot of WhatsApp groups out there. There's a lot of chat boards talking about climate change. We want to go beyond the talk to the walk to the action. So, you know, we can all have an opinion. We may not all agree with everything each other has to say, but we've got to lean in and start doing something and trying different things. And we're just not willing to stand around and make it somebody else's problem. So our hypothesis, the three of us have kind of tech and business backgrounds, so we usually start with a hypothesis to see if we can prove it, is to really help individuals and organisations scale their impact by connecting them and connecting them to folks like you guys. And the other thing we really want to do is look at how we could bring high growth business lessons and tech lessons from the startup world into this space. We know we have a massive challenge, and the only way we're going to solve that challenge is by creative thinking and learning from things some of us may have done in the past across different industries. So why Bali? Well, we're all here, so why not? But beyond that, you know, we know that we've got a worldwide diverse community here, which is a pretty incredible community. And that's probably the reason why all of you guys have moved here or are based here. And it is such a magnet of talent, diverse perspectives, different things like spirituality, business, creativity, you name it. So we're incredibly lucky to be here. But what does that mean? Like, how can we experiment? How can we bring new ideas to the table and be bold and brave in the work we're doing here and really make the most of this opportunity? And then bring these proof of concepts to life. So what we're doing here doesn't just have to stay in Bali. We've already got a partner and a colleague who's in India. Again, massive market, massive opportunity, who wants to bring this idea forward. And our goal is to inspire folks all over the globe and to know that everything we do doesn't just have an impact in Bali or Indonesia, but has the ability to scale into other places. And we've got the ability to share best practices as well. And again, obviously ambitions to have this conversation and involve the broader Indonesian community, and then look at ways that we can always think about scale. And that's really one of the things that is important to us. How do we scale our impact and think beyond our small community? Okay, so how do we do this? Big goal. We use the project drawdown methodology, which is to say across the top in red are the biggest culprits of greenhouse gas emissions. These are the biggest areas of opportunity for us. So let's focus on those. In our July meetups, we actually did a lot of work in the education space, highlighting different organisations and leaders in that space. Yesterday, in Ubud, we focused on food and nature, and again, looking at nature-based solutions. Some of the fantastic organisations like Aston Caraway, Bali Regenerative Farm and Urban Compost, and some of the work they're doing and how they're bringing some of these models forward. And today, we are going to focus on the small goal of cleaning up industry, but really with a focus on building, both looking at emissions from embodied carbon and from the operation of buildings. And what we're seeing is that it's about 39% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So a pretty big mark and a pretty big opportunity for us in the room here and for broadly Indonesia, Asia, and the rest of the world. Okay, so essentially we know that 80% of the solutions are already commercially viable and available. We need to scale those. So we just need to find ways to get these technologies, these incredible companies out in the community with the resources, with the people, with the expertise, and get these things scaled and moving faster. And we all know that we have to be part of this solution. We need to lean in and do things like we've never done before and find ways to contribute and make a difference here. So what you'll see is we're starting to see what we would call this flywheel start to work. So we're already seeing this higher consciousness, especially in the US and in Europe. If you guys saw any of the footage from Climate Week this week in New York, some people were saying there were 300,000 people in the streets of New York marching to say, hey, more has to be done and this has to be done faster. We're starting to see how that is affecting companies, governments, moving that into the investment cycle, getting more investment funding, and then that affecting the ability to bring more technology to market. So essentially this flywheel is a great idea. We just need to spin it faster and get it moving at a much higher speed. Okay, so for today, what have we got in store? Maitri's going to jump on in a second and give us really an overview of the building industry from his point of view and help us understand the Indonesia context as well and then what's happening in Bali and give us some real-life practical examples so we can start to see how we chip away at this. Then our friends at Block Solutions are going to be speaking about some of the innovative new technologies. I'm super happy to have these guys on board. I heard about you from 10 friends. So really excited to have a new technology here in Indonesia, and they've done incredible work so far. So excited to highlight them. And then we're going to have Guillaume from Caltimber speak about the story of regeneration and how we use reclaimed wood and Ulen wood and really respect the provenance and that story and bring that into the building solutions mix as well. As part of this, as I mentioned, this is a hands-on lean-in session. We're styling it as a friendly version of Shark Tank. So these organisations have been willing to come forward with their business challenges. We're going to have a number of advisors. We have Adrian and Jonathan as well as Maitri who are going to provide advice up on these stools, but we really want to tap into you guys. There's a lot of experience in the room, and then we need to bring new ideas to this space. So folks like Rob Dubois, who's like a long-time sustainability expert and supporter of the community, I expect to hear your voices. Cedric, I see you over there. So really looking forward to having a dialogue and making sure that we bring everybody's voices into this and look at solutions. Okay, I did mention the fantastic lineup of speakers we have. And then just a quick recap of who we are. Renato and Steve are here today with us, and Jonathan. From our last meetup, we recruited Bruce Haldane, who's super champion ex-product officer for Gojek Go-To Group. He's come on board with us. That was one of the amazing results from our July meetup, and as well as having Jonathan join us. And Rudra is holding down the fort in India and looking forward to getting the India crew going as well. So there's only a couple of us, small but mighty crew, but we are looking for other folks to be project managers, social media managers, WhatsApp, moderators, storytellers, event planners. So anyone that wants to pitch in a few hours and help us get this crew bigger and enable us to do more, we'd love to talk to you. Okay, quick next steps, and then my time is up. So stay connected with us. We've got a bunch of channels which are around the room with QR codes, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. Really think about that question of every job is a climate job. What do you take away from today beyond the session? How do you think about your role and what else you could be doing? Again, engage in conversation. Try to flip it into something positive around action versus the doom and gloom that I know a lot of us want to run away from, including me. And then dive deeper with us if you're interested in helping out. Every hand and every is a great support for us. And if you are interested in doing a climate fellowship, the way that Steve, Renato, and I met each other was through the Terra.do program, 12-week online program, just to give you a little bit more of an understanding and a bit more ability to speak about this stuff without needing to be a scientist. So Terra have very generously given us a little discount code in case anyone wants to jump on the program, and it works across different time zones depending where you live. So